2010, Mattel would release one of the most legendary doll lines ever, Monster High. Monster High would go on to become a massive global success, releasing multiple doll lines, movies, webisodes, and even magazines. However, in 2012, Mattel's most notorious competitor, MGA, would release Bratzillaz.
Bratzillaz, Bratzillaz, ha ha, Bratzillaz.
Bratzillaz is the most successful Monster High dupe of all time. This was a clear attempt by MGA to try to appeal to Monster High's audience. The main characters were Yasmina Clairvoya, cousin of Yasmin, Meghana Broomsticks, cousin of Megan, Sasha Bella Paws, cousin of Sasha, Cloetta Spelletta, cousin of Chloe, and Jade Jador, cousin of Jade. You know, because it just makes total sense that your cousin has the exact same name as you.
Bratzillaz!
Now, I know this video is mainly about fixing Bratzillaz, not necessarily, you know, creating a Bratzillaz live action, but, okay, if they did decide, you know, later on in the future, you know, like, that they wanted to do this, here's who I would cast. And another disclaimer, you might notice that I have changed the names of pretty much the majority of the characters. And I will explain why I've made such drastic changes in the end. Yasmina, and in my version, Luna, would be Kylie Kentro. Meghana, who in my version is Aquanette, would be Naya Damison. Jade, who in my version is renamed to Hexa, would be Demi Singleton. And the Toola Twins, which I have given them the names Litzy and Ditzy. Litzy would be Emily Skinner, and Ditzy would be Jenna Warren.
Bratzillaz Magic Night Out dolls come with wand for you.
So, you know, before I get into the outfits, I have two things to say. One of the biggest reasons why Bratzillaz flopped is because the aesthetic of Bratzillaz was just way too similar to the aesthetic of Monster High. Cause I remember when I was a little girl, right, and I first started hearing about Bratzillaz, right, it was like around the same time where I first started hearing about Monster High, and I am not gonna lie to you, you know, for a good week or so, I literally thought that they were the same exact thing. Like, of course now, as an adult, duh, I can tell that they're not the same thing, but, you know, the main people that buy dolls are not adults. They're kids. Like, yes, of course, if you put them side by side, the differences are pretty clear, but to a child, they're not gonna be able to tell. It honestly should not be surprising that people would confuse Bratzillaz and Monster High together. I mean, their aesthetic is pretty much the same. It's just on a different face mold and on a different body. So, for the outfits, I asked the stylist, Style by Baby. So, I asked them to make the aesthetic of Bratzillaz just completely different from Monster High and Bratz. First things first, Yasmina / Luna. Next up, Meghana / Aquanette. After this, Jade / Hexa. And then, last, but definitely not least, the Toola Twins.
Meet the wicked cousins of the Bratz. Ever wonder how they got like that?
So, I I believe, as someone who is a huge fan of girly media, I have noticed some things in the, girly franchises or whatever, the girly stories that fail and the ones that succeed. I have brought it down to basically 3 main things that I think are necessary for any girly thing to succeed. I can never guarantee that if you do these 3 things, that if you make a girly thing, that it is going to succeed. But I can say that if you're missing one of these 3 things, it's probably going to fail. And Bratzillaz missed all 3 of these things. The first thing that I touched on in the last section of this video was aesthetic. Every girly thing, whether it's a doll line or like a TV show or movie, whatever, it needs to have its own unique aesthetic. Listen, the girly media space is very competitive. Whenever there's a girly thing that has an aesthetic that looks way too similar to something else, one of them always fails. Always. And guess which one it's gonna be. It's almost never the original. It's usually the dupe. Sometimes it can be the original that fails instead of the dupe, like in cases like Descendants and Ever After High, but that one's a little bit different just because Disney is obviously, it's Disney. And in the case of Bratzillaz, like I've said in the last section, Bratzillaz was not at all visually unique from Monster High. It was pretty clear, okay, that their aesthetic looked way too similar to Monster High. And of course, it's not a carbon copy aesthetic. You can't copy every single exact detail of someone else's aesthetic, but you can try. And it was clear that Bratzillaz obviously tried. Number 2, the second big reason a girly thing will fail is because it doesn't feel like its own thing. Crossovers and links or whatever are fine, but it can't feel like it's an extension of something else. Like, I feel like spin-offs, when it comes to like girly shows or whatever, rarely do well. Like, I have never seen a super successful girly spin-off. It usually never happens unless if the spin-off feels completely different from whatever it came from, like Rainbow High and the Poopsie Slime Surprise.
Alright, Poopsie Slime Surprise. My poops, my poops, my poops. What you gonna do with all that poop? All that poop? Yeah, woo, woo, woo.
Like, Rainbow High is a spin-off of that. And I would not say that those two are very comparable. So MGA, I guess they learned their lesson from Bratzillaz, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna make this completely different from whatever that was. Bratzillaz just did not feel like it was its own thing with its own community or whatever. Like, it felt like it was an extension of something else. Not only did it have the exact same aesthetic as Monster High, but they were marketed and advertised and in the lore and everything that they were the witchy cousins of the Bratz.
Meet the wicked cousins of the Bratz.
What? Like, it feels like it's an extension of the Bratz. Like, the Bratz is the main thing, and then Bratzillaz is just like a gothic version of it, but it's not its own thing. You know what I mean? And it's hard to stan or feel like you're a part of some, community or whatever when the girly thing or doll line or whatever that you're supporting is just an extension of something else. You're not gonna really feel like a deep connection with it in that kind of way. Like, for example, take Ever After High and Monster High. I would say that they are both their own thing. Like, Ever After High is its own show. It's its own thing that just so happens to be connected to Monster High. It's not Monster High, but let's make it fairy tales. Bratzillaz does not feel like its own thing. It's basically Bratz, but let's make them witches. And I guess they realized this, obviously a bit too late, because they would later on try to rename the brand to House of Witches. And honestly, they should have done that from the start, because the name is way better and actually makes the brand feel like its own thing. But like I said, they made this change way too late and the brand flopped. Making them the witchy cousins of the Bratz was a horrible mistake. And it also makes no sense. Why is Jade's cousin named Jade? And it's due to this issue that I renamed all of the characters in my version, because again, like, they just made them Bratz, but let's make it witchy. Like, even the names of the characters, Megana is Megan, Megan's cousin. Yasmina is Yasmin's cousin. And in Jade's case, it's the same name. It's the same darn tootin' name. Number 3. So this is the last and, in my opinion, probably the biggest mistake that MJ has made with the Bratzillaz brand was it had no heart to it. It had no theme, it had no overall message or moral or anything. Like, it didn't have anything to say but glam gets wicked. And heart, something that has heart to it, that is what really makes a successful brand, because the heart part is what gets people to actually connect to it. Like, sure, I can imagine someone feeling nostalgia for Bratzillaz, like if they, watched it when they were younger, but I only can imagine someone like feeling like kind of connection only due to nostalgia. You know what I mean? But I can't imagine someone saying, Bratzillaz taught me to be brave or to be myself. There is no message or theme or moral in anything that like in the Bratzillaz story. This doesn't only go for like girly stuff, but I feel like in like popular, stories in general or whatever, what really makes people connect to it is that there's something that they can take out of it that they can apply to their actual life. Like, there's an actual message or theme or something there, The stuff that ends up getting remembered are the stuff that have heart to it. There is meaning there. Like, glam gets wicked. How is that a theme or a moral or a message that people can connect to on a deeper level? Like, what is that trying to say? Like, I don't understand. Like, here are some examples from some very popular girly shows. Barbie's message is, you can be anything. I can imagine someone saying, oh, Barbie taught me that I can do anything. I can imagine someone feeling a deep connection to Barbie because of that message. Brat's main theme is about friendship. Sanrio's main theme is spread happiness. Monster High's message is to be yourself and accept your flaws. Ever After High's message is about how you are in control of your destiny. And Descendants' message is about, not judging a book by its cover. My Little Pony's message is about, obviously, friendship. And the Powerpuff Girls' main theme is family. And I could go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. But look at Bratzillaz. What is the deep message or lesson or moral or theme here? There is nothing. So it just makes the brand feel cheap. Like, it really does feel like it's a cash grab. So the fact that the aesthetic is from Monster High and it's an extension of Bratz, and it has no heart to it, I mean, 3 strikes and you're out. And that's what happened here. So the story that I created here hopefully fixes these major issues. It makes Bratzillaz actually feel like it's its own thing with an overall theme. Without further ado, I now present to you House of Witches.
House of Witches.
Luna's family has just moved to Spellcasters Ave after they discovered that Luna is actually a witch. Luna has struggled with making friends and fitting in. She feels like going to Spellcasters Academy will help her find friends and make her feel like she truly belongs. As she walks into school, Luna bumps into the Toola Twins.
Oh my, I'm so sorry.
The Toola Twins look her up and down.
It's okay. Your wicked outfit makes up for it. Yeah, you look so wickedly wickedful. Ugh, she means you look nice.
Oh, thanks. I'm Luna.
It's Litzy. This is my twin sister, Ditzy. Yeah, we're the Toola Twins. And we rule this school.
Wow, that's so cool.
You look cool. You should hang with us after school.
Oh my gosh, of course.
Luna then gives the Toola Twins her number and she goes to her dorm.
You're the new girl, right?
Yeah, my name is Luna.
Nice to meet you. I'm Aquanette.
My name is Hexa.
Hexa is very shy.
Well, nice to meet you both.
So what do you like to do? Where are you from? Why are you here? Who have you met? Ooh, what classes are you taking?
I don't know.
You don't know what you like to do?
After this, Luna writes in her diary.
Dear Diary, my roommates are total losers. One of them can't stop talking to save her life, and the other one can't talk at all. At least the cool kids want to hang out with me and be my friend.
A few days later,
Hey Luna, I know you don't really like us, but
What? When did I say that? You guys are my roommates. Of course I like you guys.
oh, it's okay. Most people think I'm annoying and Hexa is weird, but anyways, since it's Galentine's Day, we decided to get you a little gift.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah, it's the least we could do for our roommate.
Aquanette unveils the gift, and it's a fancy tiramisu cake.
How did you guys know I like tiramisu?
We didn't. Hexa, tell her.
So I tried to make you a cake, but I messed up, so
We decided to buy you a new one with a little card too.
Wow, you guys are really nice. Thank you.
slowly, Luna and her roommates start to become really good friends. During class time, Luna is talking to Hexa and Aquanette, and she brings up the Toola Twins.
Did you just see Litzy and Ditzy?
Yeah, they have wicked style.
those girls are mean.
Yeah, but they're so cool.
Seriously, Luna, these girls are vicious and they're rude to everyone.
They're the reason why I don't like talking.
What happened?
So, last year, me and Hexa were the most talkative girls in school, but then one day when I got sick and had to leave school for a month, Hexa and the Toola Twins were in class. The teacher asked a question, and Ditzy and Hexa both raised their hands. Ditzy was wrong, and Hexa was right. They felt really embarrassed after that, and they tormented Hexa.
But what did they do?
They put cobwebs in her lotion, used her toothbrush to scrub the toilet, and put bleach in her food.
Oh my god. Hexa, are you okay?
After that, no, not really.
Why didn't they get in trouble?
Their grandfather owns the school.
Oh, wow, those girls are awful.
Yeah. Promise you'll stay away from them?
I promise. There is no way I'm hanging out with them after what I heard.
After class, Luna's walking in the halls, and she runs into the Toola Twins.
Hey, you doing anything after school? Yeah, we want to go hang at the mall.
Oh yeah, sure.
Did I hear you talking to Hexa and Aquanette?
Yeah.
Aren't those two so weird?
Oh yeah, they're total dorks.
Oh my gosh, dorks. That's the perfect name for them. Yeah, let's start calling them that.
Yeah. It's so funny.
Luna then starts hanging out with the Toola Twins behind Hexa and Aquanette's backs. A few weeks go by, and none of Luna's friends know what's going on. And so Luna writes in her diary.
Dear Diary, I know I'm being such a horrible friend. I really do love Aquanette and Hexa, but I also love that feeling that I get when I hang out with the Toola Twins. Even though I kind of hate them, they make me feel so cool and powerful, and I've never felt that way before.
What are you writing about?
Oh, nothing.
Ooh, is that a diary?
No.
Come on, show us. We're like your besties.
Guys, I really don't think that's a good idea.
Now I have to see it.
Yeah, now we have to see it.
Ditzy then snatches the book from Luna's hands, and as they're reading, their faces go from happy to furious.
How could you say that about us?
I can't believe you're hating on us when you're friends with the dorks.
It's fake, I swear. I didn't mean anything by it.
Oh, yeah? Well, if I were you, I'd never come back to school ever again.
Ditto. No one's gonna like you when they find out that you're a fake loser.
Yeah, you called Aquanet and Hexa dorks when the real dork here is you.
The Toola Twins then expose Luna for being fake, and everyone avoids her.
Hey guys.
Don't talk to us.
We are not besties anymore.
Guys, I really am so sorry.
Save it. You made a promise, Luna. A promise.
How could you hang out with those girls knowing what they did to me?
Yeah, you're a fake friend, and we don't have space for those types of people in our group.
I guess we were just a joke to you.
Come on, Hexa. Let's go.
Luna cries and cries. She has lost her only friends, and it's all her fault. A few days after that, Luna is woken up to roaring laughs in the dorm hall. As she goes outside, she sees the Toola Twins pushing around and making fun of Aquanet and Hexa, and everyone just stands there laughing.
Hey!
What do you want? If you know what's good for you, you'll stand there and shut it.
Leave my friends alone!
Friends? Really?
Yeah, Luna. I thought they were dorks.
This isn't funny. If you're so bored, pick on me, not them.
Are you sure that's what you want?
Yes, just leave them alone!
The Toola Twins then try to attack Luna. Girls! What are you doing? Go back to your dorms right this instant or you'll get detention.
Oh, crickets. We got caught.
Back at the dorm,
Hey, Luna.
Yeah?
Thank you.
We never really had anyone to defend us like that before.
I really wanted to prove to you guys that I am a real friend.
Well, we know that now.
Can you guys ever forgive me? I swear I'll never say anything behind your backs ever again.
I forgive you.
Me too. And to be fair, we are kinda dorky.
Maybe a little.
and so happily ever after. So, I actually had a very great time working on this video. This was extremely fun, actually, because it almost made me feel like it was like I was creating my own story, and that made me feel like I was like, oh my god, this was so much fun. I would love to do this again. I realize that the videos that I have the most fun on are the videos where it's like me basically changing everything about it, but keeping some things the same or whatever. I don't know, I just feel like that to me is just more fun. And also, I'm honestly kind of shocked that I was able to notice these glaring problems with the Bratzillaz brand, and MGA, a company, couldn't even notice this. The team behind Bratzillaz genuinely did not care. I'm actually kind of confused as to why it was even made in the first place. Because if they truly wanted to make its own doll line that was super successful and that would go on to become its own thing with movies and series and all that stuff, I'm just okay, if that's what they wanted, why didn't they notice these issues early on? Who was working on the team? Because clearly the people working on the team were not that bright. Some people might say, oh, well, they probably made Bratzillaz not with the intention of, making it an actually successful doll brand that would last for years and years and years. They probably just wanted it to be a quick cash grab. Then that's stupid. Then they're being stupid. Because if you wanted to make a cash grab, why not just release a gothic Bratz line? Bratz has done other alternative styles before. They've done punk and stuff. So I don't know why it would be a risky move for Bratz to have like maybe like a gothic inspired doll release or like a Halloween doll release or something. Like they just could have made it like just like a new release of Bratz and given it its own like movie or whatever. Like honestly, like if they really wanted to make like a legitimate doll brand that lasts forever, how didn't they notice these issues? But if they only wanted to make a cash grab, why would you spend so much money when you could just make a new release of Bratz, of them having like a Halloween inspired doll line? They could have done something like that, but they didn't. So honestly, I'm just confused as to what was going on at MGA at the time, or if they were so driven by hate, or if they were just so blind to all their mistakes or something like that. Because it was clear that they wanted to make something that would compete with Monster High, but I can't tell if their intentions were to solely make a cash grab, or if their intentions were to make something that would, like, you know, be its own thing that would be extremely successful, you know, for a long time. I can't tell, you know, what their goals were, because regardless of what it was, you know, clearly they made some really dumb mistakes that could have been easily avoided. Like, I'm sorry, like, I don't know. At this point, MGA, just give me the rights to Bratzillaz, because I did a good job, okay? I feel like I kind of did a really great job, and, you know, you should just give it to me. Let me own them. Let me be their new mother. I will adopt these girls, and I will take such good care of them. Give them to me.